Hi there, my name is Kendrick, and today I'm going to share with you my journey so far working on my NF consume, which is my extrovert intuition and my introvert feeling. And this is my journey between 2021 to the end of 2023. Now, NF consume is not going to be the hardest thing for me to use because I am an ENFP, and for ENFPs, we have NE and FI as our first and second function. So even though I have it as a demon because it's my third animal, so if you look at my animal stack, I'm play, blast, consume, and sleep. It's only my minor demon. However, because it is a demon, it's still important to work at it when I do get a chance. Now, there's about 4 different dimensions to NF consume. The first one is gathering new information for self. So from that perspective, later on, I'll be sharing with you all the new information I've gathered from books, audiobooks, and watching movies, TV series, and playing video games. Another aspect of NF consume is gathering external patterns and determining behavioral or emotional authenticity. So that's basically using the NE and then taking the information gathered by the NE and filtering it through the FI. And for that aspect, I already do a lot of that because I interview lots of people in my channel, and also part of my day job is working in the fitness industry. So in that realm, I'm also getting a chance to talk to many different clients. So that aspect I'm already practicing on a regular basis. Another aspect of NF consume is deriving meaning and purpose from new life experience. And this is why I travel a lot. As a matter of fact, my goal is to visit every single country in the world, and there is 193 countries that is currently recognized by the UN, and my goal is to visit every single one of them. As of making this video, I've been to 99 countries, and I'll be sharing all my travel experience between 2021 to 2023. Finally, the last part of NF consume is having external self-awareness and having an NF image. So my problem with this part, and actually this is the part I struggle with the most when it comes to NF consume, is I do have external self-awareness. However, it doesn't kick in until after the fact. That means after I get a chance to interact with other people, that's when I realize how I come across to the tribe and what my vibe is like, which is annoying as hell. So one thing I can practice in the future is being present to how I come across to the tribe members, which is going to be tricky because then that's going to make me lose focus on other people instead of be focusing on myself. At the same time, it's also important to have that vibe that you're chill and you're relaxed. That way you have a more open presence to you and you're not going to push people away. As far as travel goes, between 2021 and 2023, I got a chance to visit Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Panama, Costa Rica, Sri Lanka, the Maldives, Nepal, Bora Bora, Peru, Chile, Japan, Timor-Leste, and the Philippines. Of all those countries that I went to, I would say the best ones and I really enjoyed my experience or had a meaningful experience would include Argentina, mainly because I like outdoorsy stuff. So I got a chance to hike Patagonia, and in the Argentina side, it's called Mount Fitzroy. I also got a chance to see Perito Moreno Glacier, which is absolutely amazing. The food in Argentina is also really good, and I got a chance to spend time with my girlfriend as we explored Argentina. It was also my second time going to Argentina because several years ago, back in 2017, I got a chance to go there already to check out the Iguazu Falls, which is one of the 7 wonders of nature. In the future, I do want to go back to Argentina again because it is one of my favorite countries now to visit in this planet. Besides Argentina, I was pleasantly surprised with my experience going to Paraguay because I was only going to go there as a checklist country to tick it off my bucket list to visit every single country in the world. However, I did enjoy my time there. I felt like the culture in Paraguay was really good. The people were friendly, and I just had this feeling that I wanted to explore it more. So I'm going to be doing that sometime in the future, definitely. Sri Lanka to me was a pleasant surprise. I was only going to go there as a checklist country as well, but again, the food was really good. People were really nice. They're having an economical crisis right now, but if tourists goes there, it does help their economy, so it does help the locals. Sri Lanka is also one of the places in the world where you can see blue whale, so I want to go back there one day so I can see the blue whales. Of course, the Maldives is one place that a lot of people want to go to. It's definitely in a lot of people's bucket list travel destination, and thanks to my NT play, I got a chance to really figure out how to go there without breaking the bank. So actually, when I got to go there, I was able to book 5 days at an overwater bungalow in the Maldives for free, and I only had to pay for food, which is amazing. So that's the power of NT there for you guys. You can use NT to fulfill your emotional goals and life aspirations. Now, I did go to Nepal, and I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite countries. However, I did do the Annapurna circuit, and it's hands down in my top 2 hardest trek I've ever done in my life. It was up in the Himalayas, and going up such high altitude, it was absolutely one of the most brutal treks I've ever done. It was so hard that after I finished it, my body started breaking down, and I'm glad I finished it just on time because I don't think it would have been good for my body if I stayed a day longer. longer. I also got a chance to go to Bora Bora, which is another bucket list travel destination, and I actually saved up points, and it took me 7 years before I find the availability to redeem to stay at an overwater bungalow. And I also got a chance for the first time in my life to go snorkel with sea creatures, which was absolutely amazing. I love sea creatures, so I got to snorkel with lemon sharks, stingrays, manta rays, eagle rays, and this black tip reef sharks. So I would say going to Bora Bora was definitely one of those dream come true, and I would definitely love to go back to French Polynesia and check out the other islands that they have there, such as Tahiti and Muria. I also got a chance to go back to Peru, which is always great. And when I went to Chile, I got to see Easter Island, which is one of my bucket list travel destination, and it definitely lives up to the hype, as well as to check out the Atacama Desert, which again is the highlight of my trip to Chile. I also got a chance to go to Japan, and it was only going to be a bucket list checklist country, but when I went there, I did have a good time, even though it was such a short time, because I only went there as a result of redeeming my Alaska Airline miles because it was expiring. So I got a chance to sample it for 3 days, and at some point in the future, I want to go back and thoroughly explore it. The food there is amazing, people are really nice, and there's a lot to see and there's a lot to do. The only downside is it's expensive to go to Japan. Another new country I went to is Timor-Leste. This country is just okay to visit. There's not much to see, so I wouldn't really recommend it unless you're collecting countries. The only good side about going to Timor-Leste, it's also one of the 2 places in the world where you can see the blue whale besides Sri Lanka. The downside is I did join this expensive tour and we were unlucky and we did not see a single whale. So you are gambling with money to see the blue whale if you do go to Timor-Leste. And last but not least, I went to the Philippines as well, but that's mainly to visit family who I haven't seen since 2018. As far as gathering new information for self, here is a list of books and audiobooks that I've either listened to or read in between 2021 and 2023. So you can pause the video if you want to read the list of every single book and audiobook that I've read. Personally, the 3 books that I thought was absolutely amazing and a must read. The first one is Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. This one is a pure masterpiece. You cannot write this book unless you've experienced what David Goggins has experienced. Another really good book is The Gifts of Imperfection, and the good thing about this book is it's pretty much the blueprint to using SIFI. So if you're having problems with your emotions, then this is a good way to pinpoint exactly what to do to make yourself feel better. Another really great book is Nomad Capitalist. So this book is a good book for people to learn how you don't have to live in your home country in order to succeed. As a matter of fact, the new world that we're living in right now, you need to think more global and you have to think about multiple home bases in different countries. And as a matter of fact, ironically, it could be cheaper to live outside your home country if you know how to structure it properly. So this book kind of gives you the big picture overview on how that works. From a fictional side of things, the book Final Fantasy 15 Dawn of the Future is really good. I couldn't put this book down. The storytelling was amazing. It is recommended though that you play the Final Fantasy 15 game on the PlayStation 4 first or PC before reading this book, just so it makes more sense. Otherwise, it's amazing from a storytelling perspective. As far as audiobook goes, the only one I can recommend from the list I've listened to is 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson. He actually narrates the book himself, and despite the audiobook being very long, it was actually well worth listening to it, and it wasn't boring at all. So I do recommend this audiobook, and this book is so good for explaining why you don't want to over control anything in life. He covers that in a chapter which he calls Don't Disturb Children When They're Skateboarding, or something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. And this book is also really good for people who wants to learn how to use SIFE Blast, so SF Blast. So highly recommend this audiobook. As far as movie goes, here is a list of every single movie I've watched between 2021 and 2023. So feel free to pause this video if you want to go read every single one of the movies I've watched during that time period. From my personal perspective, the best movie I've seen during this time range is Top Gun Maverick. This movie is hands down a masterpiece. It was so good. It's better than the first one, actually. I thought the first one wasn't very good at all, but this second movie was just pure perfection. I don't want to spoil it, so go check it out if you haven't seen it yet. Other really good movies I've seen is Soul. This one is a Disney movie, and this one made me really think about life. This movie is deep. It's actually not for kids, in my honest opinion. And another good movie, and this is more of a documentary, is Free Solo by Alex Honnold, and basically it's a video of him rock climbing El Capitan without any rope, and my hand was sweating the whole time. Obviously, I know he survives because he was doing interviews after he did it, but when he's doing it, you actually feel scared, and you're not even doing it, you're just watching it. That's how good this movie is. Next, I'm going to show you a list of all the different TV shows, TV series, and pay-per-views that I've seen between 2021 and 2023. As far as TV shows goes and pay-per-views, I'm a big fan of WWE and UFC, so those are the pay-per-views or TV shows that I do tune in on a regular basis, and if I can't watch it, I would at least watch the highlights for each of those respective shows. As far as TV series goes, again, feel free to pause this video if you want to see the list of TV shows and series that I do watch. From my perspective, the best one would would be season 1 and 2 of Loki on Disney Plus, as well as WandaVision and Moon Knight. What If season 1 and 2 was also really good, and really good TV shows that I also like would include South Park and Family Guy. The worst show on this list is She-Hulk, so if you want to skip that, feel free to do so. It's terrible. Miss Marvel is also really bad. Last but not least, here is a huge list of all the PC, PlayStation 5, and PlayStation 4 video games I played between 2021 and 2023. Again, feel free to pause the video if you want to see the giant list of games I finished. And one of the reasons why I played so many games during this time period and actually beat them was because this is my first console that I've had since PS2. So I haven't had a console in so long, so I actually had this massive backlog of games that I haven't played that I really wanted to play. So when I got my PS5, I just went crazy playing one game after another. This is why I don't think consume is a problem for me, because I play so much video games. However, as of making this video, I'm actually in the tail end of that gaming spree, mainly because I feel caught up in playing those games, and now I'm back to focusing on my work and my businesses. As far as the best games on this list, I would say the best game would include the Shadowbringers expansion for Final Fantasy XIV MMORPG. I know this is an MMORPG, but actually it's more of an RPG MMO because it's very storyline based, and you can play it mostly single player if you wanted to. The storyline is amazing. It is hands down a masterpiece of storytelling. And one of the previous expansion also, Heaven's Ward, is also amazing in terms of storytelling, as well as Endwalker, which completes the whole series. So overall, this MMORPG is amazing. Definitely a must play if you are a big fan of storytelling. Green Hell is another game that surprised me in terms of storyline. It has one of the best storyline there is, and basically it's about a husband and a wife, and it's really deep from an emotional level. So I highly recommend checking out that game if you're into survival and you're also into storytelling. Another amazing game on the list is Trails in the Sky second chapter. This is a PC game and hands down one of the best games I've ever played. It was so good. It was the only game I've ever played in my whole life that made me tear up. That's how good it is. So I do recommend people to check it out if you like RPGs and JRPGs specifically. A little bit of a disclaimer though, before you can play Trails in the Sky SC, you have to play Trails in the Sky FC first, or first chapter, and that game is really boring. It's actually the worst of the entire series. The Trails RPG series is one game after another, and I think from what I've heard, there's gonna be about 15 games in total, and they are one after another. So it's like the MCU of RPGs. Other great games on the list that I just want to mention that is worthwhile checking out, either from a story perspective or gameplay perspective, would include Gas Station Simulator, Power Wash Simulator, Hitman 3, South Park Stick of Truth. That game is so funny. Maneater, that game was awesome. You get to play as a shark and you get to eat humans, which is an interesting perspective to take because usually you play as a human, but here you get to play as a sea creature. Octopath Traveler 2, again, a masterpiece, especially if you played the first one. They're both good. This War of Mine Little Ones, they do have the newer version, which is This War of Mine Final Cut. So either or you can play, and they're both amazing games. Life is Strange 1 and the prequel is also really good from a storytelling perspective. It's really deep and really dark. So if you're into that kind of stuff, that's worth checking out. Yakuza Like a Dragon, another RPG, but it's very comedic. So if you want to play a game that's on the comedic side, that's also a really good one to try out. And last but not least, there's Curious Expedition 1 and 2. Those games have really bad graphics, but the gameplay is good. So it's definitely worth checking out if you're into exploration. Anyways, that's about it for my journey so far, working on my NF Consume Demon. The only thing I can say is gathering new information for self and gathering new life experience is not going to be my biggest problem, as you can see. And the one area in all of NF Consume that I would need to look forward to focusing more would be that NF external self-awareness. If you do have NF Consume last, then I would say you would want to really work on your NF Consume, because people of our quadra derive meaning and purpose from using our NF Consume. So if you're not doing that, you might feel like your life is empty or you're living a shallow life. So hopefully you can see how I'm personally approaching it, and you can use it as a roadmap on how to construct your own life where you are practicing NF Consume. When I make future videos on NF Consume, it's going to be more of an annual review as opposed to the last 3 years. I only did 3 years here because I have planned to do it on a yearly basis, but I just put it off. Anyways, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.